Israel News viewers, I'm Oriel Moran. This is Levi from Discover Israel Tour with Levi. Levi, where are we and what are we doing here?
The largest archaeological site in Israel. Amazing. It's called Tel Hazor, and we're going to read the passages of the biblical battle of when Joshua ben Nun comes, he conquers this place, and against all odds, he then succeeds in destroying the northern capital of the land of Israel.
This is incredible. Let's explore.
The conquest in the land of Israel was a long and tiresome campaign. Joshua ben Nun, he had to go all the way from Gilgal to Jericho to Ai, and then he comes over to the northern peninsula, because when you're trying to topple a country, you want to topple the main capital of the region, which really controls the trade, the power, the security, and that is where we're standing now, Tel Hazor. Once Joshua ben Nun manages to conquer this place here, he really manages to show his sovereignty over the land, and the kings around him then respect him as the person who's in charge. When Joshua then conquers the whole southern peninsula and really starts moving his way up, the Canaanite Empire really starts getting scared, and they start to make these contracts with each other. And they decide that if they unite and then they wage battle on Joshua, then they'll manage to suppress this massive revolt, and they'll be able to hold on to the little sovereignty they have left of the northern peninsula. And the five kings, they come together and they decide that they're going to come and attack. But the Israelites were very smart, and Joshua ben Nun has this surprise attack and attacks them from the side. And as the Lord promised that he will show them the corpses of the people before the battle even starts, thus it happens. And this really solidifies the campaign and the finishing of the conquering of the land of Israel. The king of Hazor was a filthy idol worshipper, and so he expected everyone coming to visit the city would be the same. If we look behind me, you can see the entrance of the upper city. Further is the lower city, and here we have the entrance to the upper city. When people would come in, they would have to offer a sacrifice, maybe a small animal food offering, and you can see the cultic practice, and the altar just at the entrance of the city was completely smashed. Now, we know of multiple reforms, one by Josiah, of demolishing all of the cultic worship besides for in Jerusalem. Now you can see that the basalt there is also smashed to smithereens. It takes a very high level of fire to smash basalt, so either he smashed it with a stick or he burnt the place down to the ground. Check out this great entrance to a city. Fear comes trembling in my knees while I walk in, because the might of whoever created this place is so much stronger than me. I must give him my tithing of everything that I can before entering it and show him of his greatness. Now, who built it? Let's choose my favorite book, the Bible. We have Kings 1 talking about the cities that King Solomon built, and he imposed forced labors to build the house of the Lord and his own house. So let's go in together and make sure that there's no warriors here, that each one of these sections was a place where, you would be judged. You'd have to pay X amount of money. Maybe your camels or your donkeys or your sheep would be able to get water here, and you wouldn't actually be allowed into the official city yourself.
Every time I walk in these ancient cities, especially if they're like Canaanite or a nation that isn't the Hebrew Jewish nation, I always think, wow, they really thought that they would be here forever. They conquered as if they would be here forever. They built cities as if they would be here forever. And yet the only one that is forever is our God. And he made his name here in this land, in Jerusalem, and all the rest of the land to which he promised us. And guess who isn't here? All the nations that defied the name of God. And yet we're here.
We're now entering the palace of Hazor, which was the most important place. Now, we read in the book of Joshua that Joshua burnt down the city to such a great fire, and he burnt it to rubble. Now here we have basalt stone, which is a hard kind of stone. We can see it shattered. We need a hot fire of about 700 to 800 degrees Celsius to cause such an effect. This is one of the undeniable evidence that the Bible stories actually happen here. Entering the palace, we found various different important elements, such as a floor made of great wood, And this isn't a land that's known for its wood, but the regions around us, such as Dol, would have had these great cedar trees that would have been used here. We can see the impressive basalt slabs here at the entrance, which are carved out just really perfectly. The mud bricks, which are on the side, we can see some of the original mud bricks which were placed that would have had a covering with these basalt slabs, as we can see around us. Now you can see all of the shattered basalt slabs, means this place went under tremendous stress and tremendous fire. The Bible and archaeology meet once again. Check out this layer of ash in the same level of this temple, or the great king's palace in Hazor itself. This is evident to mass destruction that happens here by the hands of our mighty warrior Joshua ben Nun. Around the year 1250 BCE, the mighty kingdom of Hazor gets completely destroyed, and the new owners are in town. That's us guys. For the next about 250-300 years, we have somewhat of a united monarchy, where the 12 tribes eventually unite. King David and King Solomon turn the capital into Jerusalem. Right after King Solomon's downfall, the Jews are led astray by their neighbors and by other people. Around the year 850, we have the king of Omri, the house of Omri, which also is the house of Achav. He then builds Hazor, and the Israelite period is what we're looking at right now. You can see an abundance of shards of pottery from that period found here, and something else which we know is mentioned in the Bible, but is also quite a painful part of our history. The followers of the Israelites decided to worship gods such as the Baal, and they created prophets for it and cultic corners as well. This would have been one of the cultic centers and the temples in the Israelite where they completely made this matzeva, which is a erect stone standing up, and would have had animal sacrifices here for the god of Baal.
We're standing here and we're going to do something physical, symbolic, but probably a bit more less symbolic, more even spiritually significant. We know that in this place there's been idol worship, and we're going to take back control. What are we seeing here? What are we doing?
After Joshua ben Nun finishes his conquest of the land of Israel, he unites the Israelite nations and brings them to Shechem, and he has a message from the Lord. He goes, "Now fear the Lord and serve him fully. Remove the gods of your ancestors served across the river and in the land of Egypt. Worship the Lord." He knew that if he didn't unite people and send the Lord's message and make sure that they feared him appropriately, then they will go and worship other gods. And mere 300 years later, we can actually see this in the place we're standing. The Israelites come here and they start worshipping the gods such as Baal, with little figurines and sacrifices, and they took these stones and they erected them and then anointed them as a matzeva in cultic worship. Unfortunately, we could see that just behind us. So to reignite this one covenant that Joshua sent his message, we now who glorify and serve one God, the same God that we can read in the Bible, we shall fulfill what he says and smash these places, because we have to preserve the history. We're not going to smash the actual site, but we will symbolically smash this.
We will.
Here.
Nice. I'm sitting here amongst the ruins of the pottery that we just shattered. Of course, we're going to pick it up. We're not going to leave it this way. But I want to sort of draw a parallel. We're sitting here in this place and we literally shattered that thing that would be considered an idol, right? That's what they would do. They would go back to the places where there would be idol worship, and they would conquer that place and they would shatter to pieces all of those idols. Sometimes we are the one that erects those idols, and we are the ones that have to actually pray for those things to be shattered again. The simplest way to do that is literally just repent. What does it mean to repent? It means to go back from your ways and turn to God. When you do that, God is faithful. He takes those things that you held dear, all those idols. It could be your pride, it could be lust, it could be your career, it could be fear, it could be anything. And once you turn back to God and you say, I don't want this anymore, he will make sure that that thing no longer holds that high position in your life, but God does. And it really is that simple.
This was probably the last Israelite structure built here at Hazor, and possibly one of the last Israelite structures ever built. In the year 732, the Assyrians came and destroyed the Israelite nation and then dispersed the nations among the land, dispersed the tribes among the lands. This was a guard tower to then protect the western flanks of the city of Hazor. You can see this one has been dug out. Across from us we see these hilltops everywhere which haven't been dug yet. This was to protect the city, and we can see this cutout of a soldier here. He's iconically holding this Israeli flag, which is nice and symbolic to say that we're back. So we were exiled from here 2,700 years ago, but we're back.
It's been such a spectacular day. We're here and really feeling the significance of understanding how easy it is to fall into the idol worship that was around us, but also how easy it is to come back to God, repent of those things, and conquer again. Levi, how do you feel about today?
Fantastic. I think aligning ourselves with biblical morals is to learn our history is essential to understand what those morals were. And if we want to live in the way of the book, we could realign ourselves with some of the lessons that we learned from our history.
I completely agree. It's been a wonderful day. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want more Israel-related content, go to allisraelnews.com. Hit the notification bell, hit subscribe, and Levi and I will see you in the next one.